Plaintiff Larry Loving says the defendant is his son, but he admits that after his wife, the defendant's mother, passed away, he was bitter and resentful. Larry's suing his son today for the balance due on a loan. Defendant Kentucky Lovings says after his mother passed away, it put a strain on his relationship with his father. Kentucky insists the money from his father was a gift, and therefore he denies owing.
Right. How does my hair look?
Let's take a look.
Looks all right?
Sharp.
Okay.
Real nice.
That's why we're delayed today. I had my hair colored, and the first Debbie colored it the wrong color.
Oh, yeah?
Colored it burgundy.
Burgundy.
So she had to color it over.
Wow.
So we just hope next week I won't have a different style, as in bald. I don't even think you can color a person's hair twice in one time. We'll know soon.
Yeah.
All right. And sir, you're here suing your son for $4,000 for the balance due on a loan?
That's right.
Start with you.
All right. First, I want to say I do love my son. I miss him, and we done lots of things together. But anyway, my wife,
What type of son was he? What type of son was he growing up?
Oh, he was a good son growing up. He did some little things, got in trouble, but overall he was a good son.
Oh, good.
He liked to fish and stuff. But that's what I do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And your wife, you were saying?
Yes, she passed away about 11 years ago.
Sorry to hear that.
After that, he lived with me about 3 years, and we got along good. We done lots of things together.
Why you put him out? Why'd you have to put him out?
I think he kind of went on his own.
Oh, he left on his own?
Maybe a little.
Okay.
Got a little tired of him, I guess.
Well,
but
you
anyway,
put him out. Yeah, if you got tired of him and he's gone, that means you put him out. There ain't no left on his own.
No.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, but anyway, he kind of went himself out for a long time after she passed. He did have some girlfriends during those times, and dated and stayed with some, but anyhow.
I need to hear all that, sir. I don't. What does that have to do with anything? I don't need to know whether he had a girlfriend and how he walked in the door with his sexy pajamas on, and they wouldn't close the door sometimes at the house, and then at the house when they closed the door, I would hear them praying. So I don't need to know all that.
Defendant Kentucky Lovings is being sued by his father, who admits he was upset that Kentucky didn't invite him to his wedding.
Go right ahead. He lived with you and then he left.
After he met his wife, he did start to become himself again. We started doing things and calling me on his phone.
Doing things with his wife over the phone?
Oh, me and him started doing things. And
you don't have a better way to say that, sir. Let me talk to your son. Going further and further. Sir, give me some background.
Okay. Well, growing up as an only child, my dad, he was always there for me. I mean, he's always been more than a dad. He's been a friend. I mean, but my mom was always the mediator between us. She always said we were so much alike that she had to mediate, keep us from bumping heads so much. But anyway, her passing in 2009, it's like it lost a piece of both of us. And it's like he was just, I don't want to say bitter, but he was just kind of, I guess, upset at the world, and I don't know. And
how long had they been together, your parents?
28 years.
Do you mind me stopping and asking him, was he bitter? Because I have a story similar when my mom died and I was a teenager. Sir, how did you feel when your wife passed, his mom? He said that you were angry and bitter, and so tell me about it.
Yeah, I guess in a way I was. She was sick and I needed some help because she was at home most of the time, and it just seemed like I didn't get the help I thought I should have had.
From who?
And from Tuck. I call him Tuck. I know his real name is Kentucky, but I call him Tuck for short for that.
Had you prepared yourself for your wife's transition? Had you been prepared? And so how long had it been, had you all known that she would be transitioning? Was it 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years? Did she have a chronic disease? What happened?
Yeah, she it was probably about 4 years between her passing from, she got where she was in a wheelchair and couldn't, she had a small stroke. She couldn't feed herself good. And I did need some help. And
did you have any bitterness toward, when he said bitterness, I thought he might have been saying toward God for taking them.
Well, that's possible. Some of that too. Yes, that's right.
Because that's how I felt.
Yes.
When my mom passed prematurely with 11 months notice, I took care of her for the most part by myself. And up until the last month or two when my godmother helped take care of her, I felt bitter. I felt bitter toward God, and when folks were coming up to me at the church and we're praying for you and everything was about God, I was mad and bitter. I was like, what's all this about then? God, let this happen? Or what did he tell me about God? Because I ain't feeling him. What just happened in my life. You kind of, sir, felt that way? Yeah,
I did. I felt that way. And I suppose maybe I didn't treat Tuck that good either, and I was just upset with God, myself, and losing her, and it seemed like I was losing him some too, and her and him was all I had.
How long did it take you to get beyond the bitterness and the anger?
Probably a couple of years, probably.
Took me over a year.
Yes.
Me over a year. You couldn't say nothing about God to me for at least a year and a half after my mom passed prematurely at age 49. I'm 17.
Jeez.
All right, sir, so you left off telling me about when your mom passed, and what did that create? What type of environment or relationship?
Well, I think it just put a strain on us. I mean, we still talk. We were there for each other. It's just the closeness. It's like the friendship was gone, but not gone, but just kind of disarrayed.
Different.
And just different. And he was still my dad, but just a friendship, the fishing buddy, and that was kind of lacking. And things got better in 2019. I met my wife. We married December 2020. It's great. I mean, she's loving my life. It's incredible. It's incredible.
What year did your mom pass again?
2009.
Okay, and this is the first woman since that has had your heart?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Ladies, you see, I guess, and some men, but men aren't as nice and considerate and compassionate and all the other things. That's why you should have had a girl. She'd have taken care of you. Boy ain't gonna take care of you. I'm very clear on that. My boys ain't gonna take care of me.
Walk right over you.
Keep right. Step over me, right. Excuse me, Dad, can you move your bed to the side? Can you move that chair? I'm trying to watch the football game.
Defendant Kentucky Lovings is being sued by his father, who admits he was upset that Kentucky didn't invite him to his wedding.
That can be a very soothing and life-changing experience to provide a person who is still grieving, no doubt, after 11 years, a level of comfort and love that they may have felt nearly as much as they did for their mom. I know that's what happened to me. I met Linda 1 year after my mom died, and You know, that's what changed my life. I was still kind of a hoodlum because I said I still rejected God, even though I was in college and was still transitioning from a street guy. She came along and changed things for me, and so she can do anything she wants. That's why she takes all the money. Your wife don't take all the money. She's gonna use that as an excuse. I'm telling you, to take your money. I'm just letting you know, I was there for you when wasn't nobody else. God wasn't even. She's going to put herself up against God. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Yeah.
She's going to say, God didn't comfort you, I comfort you. We're having a little fun because I'm glad that you have been able to find some solace in your woman. And no, Linda doesn't throw that up in my face. She has never thrown it up in my face that if it wasn't for her, I'd probably be back in jail, and I'd probably still be hating God for taking my mother, and instead she stepped in and her mother became my mother, and it helped change my life for the better. So let's get to the loan you're suing your son for, $4,000.
All right. In October last year, he come to me needing $5,000, said him and April was going to get married, going to Pigeon Forge. But as it happened, he got married at a justice of peace. And I wasn't even invited to that. And that kind of upset me. They'd been married about 3 days before I knew. And he borrowed the money to have a big wedding. I could sort of understand you to COVID, but
and didn't invite you to the real one. Never had the big one and didn't invite you to the real one.
Invited the money behind him.
Invited your money, And so what are you suing for? How does he owe it? He borrowed the money for his wedding? Thought the father was supposed to take care of the wedding. I had to take care of my daughter's. Well, it's the daughter, right? Her father should have taken care of it.
But
you all are 100 years old. Ain't nobody take care of y'all. How old are you, sir?
45.
You got a young wife?
She's 48.
All right. Well, you all 100 years old talking about somebody paying for y'all wedding. I was about to say the father is supposed to pay for the wedding of the daughter traditionally. And so I was going to say her father should have paid for all of that. But if you don't get married by 35, don't give them no money, y'all. Pay for your own wedding. After 30, what do you think? You going to get 60? Well, how many weddings, by the way? I'm just curious about that. How many weddings do the fathers pay for? How many?
I don't know.
Father's supposed to pay for the wedding of his daughter. You pay for the first one.
Right.
She gets divorced. Come back to you. Dad, I want another wedding. I'm getting married again. I want a big wedding. Daddy's got to pay for it. Okay, that's my understanding too. Divorce him.
Right.
Come back. That sounds like a money hustle. I'm going to be quiet, get my daughter, because she'll remarry. They'll remarry each other. That's that hustle. Got the game. There's always some game in something. I'm telling you, it's always, if you just look real close, there's some game lingering around. So I'm looking for my daughter to come back. Oh, we're divorcing, Dad. Then 6 months later, oh, Dad, we decide we're going to get back together and remarry. All right. And did he agree to pay for it, or you're saying he converted it to a different use?
That's right. He did go on vacation prior to getting married. I feel like he used that money to take a vacation, him and April. And I do, if you can refer to page 2, I'm remarried now, and my wife, you can see what she had to say about it.
How long you been married?
7 years now.
Good, good. I, Susan Lovey's witness, know Kentucky asked to borrow $5,000, not gifting. After borrowing the money, he did repay $1,000. Okay, repaid. That's why we have 4. Sir, what do you say to this?
I say it was a gift. I mean, my mom's wishes, I feel like, she had always said she wanted to be there. She wanted to be a part of my wedding. She wanted to take care of the things. And I feel like those wishes should have been transferred to him. I mean, that's what my mom wanted. I mean, I always felt like he should have honored it.
Defendant Kentucky Lovings is being sued by his father. who admits he was upset that Kentucky didn't invite him to his wedding.
Sir, did you hear your wife say that in the past?
I don't remember hearing anything.
And in fact, that's exactly what he did, though. He's saying he gave you the money for the wedding, as you say your mom had wanted to do or had assured you she would, and that it transfers over to him. I'm with you on that. Morally, I think that you are on to something. However, sir, you have to use it for that purpose. And what he's saying, you didn't use it. So if your mother had done it for you, if you used it for something different, you wouldn't have been a good son. So what are you saying to that? You didn't use it for the wedding expenses.
Well, it was still to get our life started together, or it could have been used for a honeymoon or a life starter. It was still.
What did you tell him it was going to be? Okay. What did you tell him it was going to be used for?
I initially asked him for the money for a wedding, but during COVID, there was no way to plan a wedding. There was just no way to do it.
Now, was it a loan or was it a gift? Because his wife says it's a loan, his current wife, he says it's a loan. You say what your mom assured certainly was a gift, and I believe that. But unless he wants to take that obligation on, as I said, he perhaps has a moral obligation, but he's saying that even if that were the case, you did not use the money for the intended purpose, even if it was a gift. He did not give you the money. He did not gift it to you for that purpose. It was a conditional gift. I'm giving you this gift for your wedding.
Part of it was used for the wedding at the Justice of the Peace.
How much, sir, at the Justice of the Peace? $40 application?
I think a license was $50.
You're 10 off.
Okay. This is a little perplexing because I believe you had a right to believe it was a gift that parents give, but you're a little beyond the age most parents pay for weddings. And if this was to pay for your wedding and you didn't use it for that, morally, he could say, well, son, you used it to get your life started. And in fact, I offer my children to do either of the two. I'll give you the nice little piece of money, or I can spend it on a wedding. Linda's father did the same thing. I was so bothered by that. I want my wedding. I did the same thing with Kamara. Kamara cost me, my daughter's wedding cost me. She could have had that, and her and her husband could have had that in their pocket.
Right.
So, you should have said that. You should have said that. You should have said, Dad, I'll take the $4,000 you're going to give me for the wedding and use it to get our lives started, because that's what you say you did with the money. He said you spent it on vacation. Judgment for the plaintiff. He spent the money on something other than the wedding, which is the reason who loaned him the money. He says gift. Even if it was a gift, he converted the money from its intended purpose, a wedding, to a different use. That's called conversion. $4,000 is your judgment. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to say I do love you, Tuck, and give me a call. We can work this out. It was not all about the money. Some of it was about not being invited. Even if you was out of JP, I would have still loved to have been there.
I love my dad. I always will. I'd like to be friends again. I want to be the friendship we had. I'd like to go fishing. I will give him a call. I'll give him a call.